Welcome, guys, to week 5 of our class. I'm going to go over the assignments for this week. Obviously, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And of course, check your grades to make sure everything is going right. So let's look at our assignments for this week. Let's see. So we have 3 assignments this week. It's actually a really kind of not really a long week in terms of assignments, but I am going to warn you that as we move on to week 6, we're going to get a little bit more heavy, so be prepared for that. So this is kind of the lull before the storm. All of your assignments are due by March 6th. We will be meeting this week on Zoom on Thursday at 6 p.m. So that's different than the 5 p.m. I do have a meeting until 5:30 that I am on Zoom for. And then, of course, that'll give me time to get everything all set up for our class at 6 p.m. Okay, so, and I'll send out the link to you guys in a little bit, so that way you guys know what the link is to meet. So we have 3 assignments this week, the first of which is a book club template. In this case, you will need the textbook. So if you haven't ordered the textbook, make sure you do so. Again, check Amazon. They are really quick. I know there's a digital copy, so if you need a digital copy, get that. Just make sure you have the textbook because you're going to be using it for the next 4 weeks. You'll have a second assignment dealing with education blogs and Twitter. It's a hyperdoc that I'll show you all about. And then the last thing is a Slack post on the education blogs and Twitter, especially once you're done. This is not one where you're going to be working in a group. It's going to be individual. So make sure you just take the time and do that. And once you're done with that, you'll be done for the week. You may want to start looking at week 6. I am populating that this week, so that way you can kind of have it already all set up, because it might take you a little bit of time to do. But I just want to make sure you guys are all prepared. So looking for week 6, we're going to be talking about Google apps, lots of different ones. There'll be some group discussions and an assignment on collaborative storytelling. Okay, so we'll be talking about that as we go through. So let's look at the first one. Okay, so let me move over here to this. So the first assignment is your book club template. You are going to be basically copying a template down. This is going to be for basically our book study, the last part of our course. You're going to be creating a project-based learning lesson on the slide deck, and we'll go through each week what you have to do. This week, however, you're working independently, but over the next 3 weeks, your group and you are going to be working, brainstorming, and like trying to figure things out to make things as best as possible. So the first thing you're going to have to do is make a copy of the Google slide deck template and then complete slide number 2 using that. So if you don't know what that template is, it's this one right here. Okay, so it's 407 Book Club. You're going to use this slide deck to plan a project-based learning lesson plan. Okay, and you'll be filling out different things as part of this. You'll notice that there are a total of 7 slides. Each slide is color-coded for each week. Okay, so this week is kind of a light week, and then you have a couple things to do for next week, and then for weeks 7 and 8, you'll have different things you have to do. Again, you're not going to be turning this particular slide deck until the last week. Okay, just make sure you follow the instructions that are listed on the slides, and then make sure you put wherever you whatever assignments you need to do in the appropriate spots. So let's look at week, in this case, week 5. Sorry, let me move right here. Week 5. So this next week, you need to read chapters 1 and 2 in your book. Okay, and then you'll see that there's a Padlet right here. There's a link. So again, make sure you click on that link. I'm going to do that right now. Let me see. Oh, there we go. And it's going to open for me. This is a Padlet on the book club. This is the section 1. Looks like someone's already put it in. But what you're going to do is post about your learning from chapters 1 and 2. So if you get that book, start reading chapters 1 and 2. What you're going to do is you're going to post right here. I will tell you, make sure you put your name on it. Let's see if they put their name on it. Okay, so for that person who I'm already looking at, if you didn't put your name on it, please make sure you put your name on it so I can give you credit for it. Once you kind of post about your learning, you're done with the book, the template for this week, but just start looking at the other slides. Excuse me. And if you see that there's something you can do already, go ahead and work ahead. The more you work ahead, it'll make your life a little bit easier as we go along. But again, make sure you post about your learning on this Padlet. Okay. Coming back to our second thing is the education blogs and Twitter hyperdoc. Okay, so again, you're going to make another copy of a document. This is going to be yours. Once you finish what you have to do on it, make sure you share a link to it so that way I can access it and that way you get credit for the assignment. But here's the education blog. Excuse me. Your task is to visit these 3 educational kind of blog websites. Edutopia, which you guys have done a little bit with. Ditch That Textbook. Again, that's a wonderful resource. Love it. Cult of Pedagogy is another one. And then I want you to find one. Doesn't matter which one you find. You might just search educational blogs and you might find a random one. It might be something related to what you're interested in. It might be a specific subject. Find something. You want to find one article if they have it. You want to find one resource that they find that is really good, that you find that's interested, and then one tool that you feel that is good that you're going to get out of it. Okay. Once you do that and you fill that out, then you come down here to what we call a Twitter investigation. One of the biggest things about education right now is that Twitter is a great way of networking and also finding new ideas, what works, what doesn't work. It's one of those things that you could share great things that are happening in your classroom. You could see what may not be going very well, and especially as teachers are struggling a little bit, especially during the pandemic, even though things are getting a little bit better. It's always a great way to kind of see that you're not alone. So I want you to look at these 3 articles and write a reflection kind of for each right here, these notes. Twitter for Teachers, Inspiring Educators on Twitter to Follow, which I encourage you, if you have Twitter, follow those educators. And then how to start your own teacher Twitter. Twitter is a great way of communicating with people, reaching out to people, getting ideas, conferences, all of the like. So it's definitely something that I would encourage you, all of you guys to do. Okay. But once you finish with all that stuff, make sure you share it with me. Put the link inside Blackboard. And once you do that, you're done with this particular portion of the assignment. But when we come back to Blackboard, the last thing you have to do for this week, and again, like I said, it is a pretty easy week in terms of assignments, is that you have to post 2 things onto Slack, okay? And it's going to be on this particular Slack channel, which I'm going to open up. I realize I haven't done that yet, but I will do that after I'm done making this video. I want you to post answers to these 2 questions. Thinking about your learning on the hyperdoc. How do education blogs and teacher Twitter help teachers learn from other educators? Okay, so how could you learn from other educators through Twitter? How could you learn from these educational blogs? Definitely something you want to look at. And then please tell me how you could do that. The second question, how are we able to widen our learning community with these tools? Make sure you put, well, your name will go on Slack, so that's not really a big issue, but make sure you post separate responses to each of those questions. Once you've done that, you are completely done with the week if you've completed all these assignments. Again, if you owe me anything from previous weeks, make sure you get that turned in. If you need some help with some technology, don't hesitate to ask. But otherwise, I look forward to seeing everybody on Thursday. And I hope everybody gets kind of a little bit of a restful week as we get closer to the end of our class. Again, I am proud of everybody. You guys have done a wonderful job so far. I can't say enough good things about you. So please just keep up the good hard work. And I look forward to seeing you guys on Thursday. Enjoy your week, and hopefully everything goes well.